I would like to invite also my other colleagues, Alex, Octavian, Stefan, and Steven, to join us here. So then you can ask more questions. Steven manages our technical documentation, so if you have anything to say about that, or I'm sure he will like to hear some of that. Stefan is one of the founders of Syncro, the company behind Oxygen. And Alex, Octavian, and Radu are our main developers, some of our main developers. We do not have a big hierarchy of roles in our company, but probably if we will have, they will be managers.
They keep promising us.
I feel much better now, George.
But he only says that because they're here.
Yeah.
It's the same theme to all the rest back home.
So, what do you need from us next? How are you using Oxygen? And is there something missing?
Where should we invest more?
I will find out when we're done.
So, as you've seen, we focused lately on collaboration, and I hope you will get a chance to try Oxygen Content Fusion soon to see how that actually works. In our case, we start to share documents with Content Fusion rather than Google Docs in different situations, and it seems to work quite well. Steven is using Content Fusion daily.
I use it constantly. But of course, from the technical writer's perspective, it's a godsend. It's incredible.
Is it open to the general public? Do you need a license? What is for the moment and for the long term?
So for the moment, you can use the demo version, the hosted version of fusionoxygenxml.com without any cost as an Oxygen user, but you do not control the frameworks, right? So we have their data support, dogbook support, EI, XHTML, and I don't know if a few frameworks are already available there, but we have already available on request. We can provide access to an enterprise version that you can install on premise, and the licensing model for that will be similar to the web author licensing. So that is subscription packages for floating users. And those floating users are for users of the web author, which is embedded in Content Fusion. So it's a start package for 5 floating users. For instance, it's $200 per month or something like that. You get an idea of how we want to make that available. But the demo version, you can try it out. You can use it for data, notebook, documents, XHTML, and so on, and see how that actually works for you. The web author is also, very useful, I think, because it's the base for Content Fusion, and it was taken by a number of content management systems and integrated in the data space, because most of the content management systems are more or less in the data space. So, but apart from that, we also offer a number of connectors to work with different repositories. With Git, any Git repository, we extended the connector, the GitHub connector initially Now you can work with any Git repository. And the most important part, I think, for this is the concept of not necessarily to look at this as a standalone editor in the browser, but rather integrated in a workflow or in some place where you need to be able to edit content. So for instance, here it is our user guide, and if I want to edit this topic, this is published, can be published as PDF or HTML or whatever. As far as you can have a URL in that document, then you can provide an edit link. So that means someone can immediately be able to have edit access to that content. So exactly the published HTML content that you have here can be edited, just pressing a button. And then if you integrate also automatic publishing, once you commit or save the content, you can have an updated, you can update the published format, the webhelp or PDF or whatever. And that enables a real review process, because initially we wanted users to review directly in the web author, but many users want to see the final form when they content. But these edit links allow an immediate access to the source whenever you see a problem in the published content.
Internally, we use this because our support team usually find problems in the documentation and it's pushed out. End user or an end user may contact them because they
future plans for this will be to look into improving to allow for more complex maybe first at doc level or even for full content modification. I was wondering also because we support a number of external languages like Java, HTML, and so on. Do you have some specific languages that you are missing, you are using, and you don't have support for? Do you use any other specific languages?
BTMN. BTMN. Business protocol.
Okay, that's good to know. On the XML development, you've seen some of the new additions that we've made, presented by Octavian in the morning and Alex in the afternoon. So we plan to improve the XSLT and XQuery support, integrate the latest version of Saxon. We already provide other versions as plugins. So even if we integrate the latest Saxon version, we keep previous versions of Saxon available as add-ons, so you can install them if you want to use really a specific version. Xproc had a meetup in Prague, so we expect they will have a new version maybe. For publishing, we have the PDF chemistry engine, and our team is working also on the web help. For the responsive web help, we want to provide templates and to be able to share those templates and modify them. We work on a number of plugins to add additional support to Oxygen. and also be able to show the source code for those plugins, so someone can more easily um, create a new similar plugin or get some ideas from that. Further, we are thinking to provide support for not well-formed HTML, because in a way we support that, but we support HTML better when it's well-formed, right? So, but we are thinking to handle also not well-formed HTML better. Yeah, like, but not external well-formed. And yeah, I want to hear more also. What do you need?
Blockchain? Support
Bitcoins.
from-
Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Bitcoins.
You could mine from oxygen.
Well, I have sometimes bigger problems when you are mixing language. For instance, if I'm writing Syncro, and then I also create XLT functions, and then the autocomplete goes into it nicely text. It wants to close text, so I just want to start a new one. This is tiny detail, but integrating several languages in one XML file is sometimes problematic if you have to do it. It's not as nice as it is if it's over here, if it's over here, it's so terrific. But if you mix things, then it's somewhat less problem to it.
Yeah, we have an issue for this. The problem is that it's not so easy
So we only
to
have
but
no one said.
it's on our to-do list somehow. Even I had XSLT code to schematon and it's bothering me. Maybe I'll start to work on it.
I think we have some support for this in the Xproc editor,
Yeah,
because there you can also write XLT inside Xproc, and I remember that we have something there.
We also have in the schematron, but not that great, so it's not like you are in XSLT there, so it.
Yeah, that's
Well, have a look.
you find only those HK.
I think it's zero and five is have more content that is coming from the web. And you make the work to go to the web. That would be business. And I think that if you support Markdown, you have to support
Yeah, Radu didn't show, but for the Markdown editor, we also have a data preview, because you can use Markdown in data as it is data topic. So also that preview. And one idea with Markdown would be to because we do that to data conversion or to HTML conversion, to be able to enforce some schematron on that converted output. And then you can bring some messages to the user, maybe you are missing a section with this title, or something like that you actually want in that Markdown document. So basically being able to provide some hints or enforce some structure, not enforcing, but provide some feedback on the Markdown structure to authors. And one idea is to move the Markdown support also into the web editor, into the web author, and then you can work in the web author with Markdown, XML, maybe HTML5, without worrying too much, and being able to use schematon prefixes, maybe things like that.
Yes.
We have a question.
I write all my stuff, but our developers write in Jira or Confluence, which is not really Markdown. I don't know what it is. Plugins, we did a Confluence stuff with technology. Does anyone know a good way to take stuff out of Confluence and prepare it for overseas like Confluence? Is there a plugin?
Yeah, we thought that maybe you want the other way around. So you want the content from the developers to become some kind of a data topic, and no.
No, but my information has to go to Confluence.
Okay. And the plugins don't work that well. The plugins for that don't.
They might do lightweight data. I've never tried that.
No.
I'm just there's so much complicated with it. It does not understand.
Yeah, maybe you can go data to HTML and then find some tool online to go HTML to Confluence. I think you have better chances for this because HTML is more on the mainstream than data.
Yes.
We are here in frequent wish whatever you want to find. If you have really large XML files like 250 megabytes or whatever, so you have huge files mode and large files mode, you get access to them. But even if it's just 10 megabytes, something like that, trying to debug it, your hotspot analysis is kind of not possible. I totally understand that all the data you're collecting is kind of way above what a regular transformation needs, and sometimes it's easier to try to get XSL messages inside the transformation to debug certain things. But do you see any options of making the debug mode less in memory?
I think that's the profiler, it's not the debugger.
The debug itself is also well, it talks a lot with Saxon, I guess, but if there are, let's say, a bunch of options and you don't hesitate to have 20 or something like that, checkboxes in a dialog, it's possible to turn off certain things that might not need just to save some money and to get to be able to work. Not spend some hours to kind of find out which part of that large XML file I have to keep to kind of get the performance problem, find out the performance problem, which only appears in large files. Some performance issues are exponential. So if you are in a small file, then you just won't notice it. And so that is kind of, I think, the kind of part. But I understand the technical reason why this is currently this way. But if you see some options like kind of reduce the memory or whatever, put that in action, is that important?
So while you're in the debugger, what are you mostly using? For example, I may use only the output to source mapping. So once the output is produced, I can click there and I can see which part in the XML and XSLT generated that. And we were considering maybe when transforming the XML with XSLT and generating the output to have this mapping again, even if you're not in the debugger mode. And this would be lighter on memory, I think.
I saw this button right now. I haven't used it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for the profiler. And most of the time, those are kind of chunking style sheets. Like they create thousands of modules from one large file. So I don't know if that fits the use case of that automator. I have every sort of every
Probably.
Yeah.
But at first thought, I can't think of any immediate optimization that can be done on that.
Yeah.
Stefan actually did that profiler like
Shame on
some years ago.
Yeah, I guess so. And otherwise, you just have to cope with all the stuff around. So I made a note of a list of certain things that I kind of have to talk to with other developers, like the triple tick. I was aware of the triple tick. The triple tick is wherever they get for happening for years. So and it's just useful things that I've never tried. So it's kind of one big takeaway.
At least at some point we were considering the quadruple click. But we don't really know what it should do, but it would be cool.
You should be fast.
The problem with the XSLT profiler is that Michael K added optimization to Saxon, and Saxon just starts taking the XSLT and rewriting it, and I'm not sure anymore if our profiler really expresses the problems in the style sheet. I think Michael should probably create the tool, the profiler tools, which would show the people where to optimize, because he's also trying to optimize himself, the style sheet, by rewriting it and.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, I already talked about small. The idea was I think that now we need integration framework for what the people have been able to produce in oxygen, push it to developers to integrate it properly. So the idea is that we should have some kind of jar or something of bundling of the project, so we can just push that to the developer and just, a few lines of Java or whatever or .NET, we integrate the schematic validation and so on and so forth, and do it properly, and not the way most of the developers do it, in the sense that they redevelop everything, do the schema validation badly, don't know how to integrate the catalogs and so on and so forth. So there is some kind of, I would say, some kind of gray area where more and more people are using Oxygen as a business tool, not developer, but business tool. And they want to push something to develop a team so they can just package it and, have some handling it and give the same output as in Oxygen.
Like command line validation, command line transformation.
Yeah, but
like.
You take Schematron, XSD, and for example, I don't know about value lists and some catalogs. You know how it works in Oxygen. You push it, and someone can package it the same way, so it gives the same type of output. Because, we see more and more problem because in Oxygen now we are lucky guys. We have everything's working. We don't need to bother. And then when you push it to the developers, they start from zero most of them.
So we had a request for transformations, for instance. When you set up a transformation scenario in Oxygen, and then you want to run that from the command line, like from an automated process and things like that. And there's no way to say right now, run this transformation scenario from the command line. Yes. And if you have to recreate the scripts and set up the catalogs and that you already have, let's say in Oxygen, it's not easy sometimes.
Yeah, the same way for validation. When you combine validation, for example, because we have NVIDIA support in Oxygen and most of it, and just integrating Jim is overkill in most of the project. So people just say, okay, we'll take the XSD and try to integrate the Schematron, and in the end, you don't have the same result, and you spend years understanding it.
Isn't a carefully constructed Oxygen project combined with an Oxygen license? So a carefully constructed project, and once got this from an external developer, just had to open it, and all the paths were relative, and everything that was necessary, not provided by Oxygen, was in place. And I just needed to file which transformation I had to start first, and the other one second and third, and stuff like that. And then sell another Oxygen license to all those poor developers to make it.
Those poor developers.
Yeah, they have to integrate it in the server.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the scenario. If you have a continuous integration server or something like that,
And
automatic process.
That's why I said, for interactive, it's very good now.
Usually, as a company, when you create a server-side solution, they will need to pay you for it. Would the developers, want to pay money for this solution? So when for scripting, licenses are more expensive. because you can take parts of Oxygen and run them 1,000 times a day on documents. On documents maybe coming from multiple people all over the place.
So we have a scripting license that covers right now, for instance, the data map validation completeness check.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we provide that. So you can.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you can use that, for instance, to validate.
Yeah.
To run a validation on data.
Yeah, it's only data focused.
We could also have a scripting license for regular validation, but not with Saxon schema aware because of the licensing details we have with Saxon
That's clear that the idea is
Home Edition.
what minimum. Well, the problem is, to say bluntly, is you have schematron, you give it to a developer, he never heard about schematron. He tries to implement it badly, and you have awful performance and strange results, okay, in the end. And the worst thing is when they try to merge the output from schematron and XSD and don't succeed in making it properly, right? So that's the workflow. The workflow is if we have a validation which is a countdown validation, XSD or Blackson schematron or something, we should have something that could be pushed, perhaps with different level of integration. If you have an ED license, if you don't have, if you have a script license, blah blah blah, but at least some kind of just saying. In case you're not busy.
Alex is taking notes.
I'm writing. I have a lot to. It will take a while.
But the point is, since it may be something that could be open source, we could give a hand. That's the idea also. Maybe it's not only the burden on you for this kind of thing, because as you said, you already done all the work on the front end. Maybe the back end could be something that's community broader. And maybe you do one integration in one language and people just spread it in another language. So you have basic level of integration. Because the other problem is that Oxygen is Java, and we have problems crossing the boundaries with .NET. And there is a lot of people working on .NET these days, and it's complicated. I know what you think.
Can't tell them much.
Just learn Java.
It's not the source of those poor quality problems. No, I'm not saying that. It's the worst.
They did it
I
themselves.
say the bad developers do .NET, and the good ones go to Java. It's better to understand.
If we stay, more, we'll remain alone. So thank you for joining.
Thanks.
And we are still here.